Welcome to another episode of Movie Talk Mondays. I am your host, C's Monroe, and today we'll be reviewing Transformers 1. So before I get into this movie review of Transformers 1, I wanted to say two things. First, this is going to be a non-spoiler review. Reason being, this movie doesn't come out for another week. And I know we discussed some things about me reviewing Movie Talk Mondays that were going to be spoilers and all these great things. But situations like this cause for a bit of a shift. All right. This movie doesn't come out for another week, so you guys haven't seen it yet. So I want to break this down to you so it doesn't ruin the movie for you. Second thing is, before the movie even started, I seen that there was a lot of production houses behind this film, which kind of worries me. Reason being, anytime you see a bunch of production houses before the film starts or behind the film, it means that the main producer or director had to go out there to chase this money down and get the money for the film, right? So they had to knock on a lot of doors for it. The problem with that is sometimes that kind of means that they know that they won't get a big result from this film. Because if that was the case, they would just go to the right person's door and know that there's going to be a nice ROI, so they give them the money for the film. But in this case, there was a lot of people putting in a lot less, so it's not that big of a hit. So I was kind of worried just starting this film. So let's just keep that in mind. So going into this film, that made me worried about it. And secondly, it was animation film, an animation Transformers film. Not to mention we just had a Transformers film last year. We had all these things to worry about. But after watching this film, I will have to say that this film was probably the best Transformers film I didn't see personally. It was action-packed. The comedy was there. The comedic timing was there. And that's the big thing about comedy. Like, the comedic timing is everything. Like, if you don't have the timing, the comedy just doesn't work at certain times. So with this film, the timing was there. Chris Hemsworth did a great job as Optimus. Brian Tyree did a phenomenal job as Megatron. Keegan-Michael Key did a phenomenal job as Bumblebee. Scarlett Johansson and her character, like, these guys did a phenomenal job. This movie had big laughs in it. It had action in it. Now, don't get me wrong. This is not a $200 million action animation film. This is not Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Like, this is not that type of animation, taking time, going through things. So during the film, there's going to be action scenes where they kind of cut to and pretty much move on from certain action scenes, so you don't see a lot of the stuff going on, if that makes sense. Let me rewind that back. There's going to be action scenes, right? These action scenes are going to be going on at a certain time period in the film where it's dire that something needs to be happening right now. But then it cut to, they'll be escaping from this same scene. So is it bad editing? Maybe. But I think personally, it's just the animation wasn't all there to create these certain fight scenes, if that makes sense. I don't want to ruin it, so I can't get into it, but you guys are going to have to get my point until next Movie Talk Monday, because I can't ruin it for you guys. But that was a big thing for me. The second thing that I loved about this film was just the storyline. Like, the storyline really got me. I'm not a real big Transformers guy, so I don't know too much about it. Of course, I've seen all the films. I take that back. I've seen every film since 2007 on, because I'm pretty sure that there's films before that. And those films are decent, but this film really took it to another level as far as the storyline. It is an origin story of the war on Cybertron. It's not necessarily a origin story of Cybertron. There's a little tidbit of what Cybertron is. They kind of give you a hint at the very beginning of what's going on. It's kind of like a sequence where Optimus is pretty much sneaking into the archives to get the story behind Cybertron, and you're going in and out of that storyline. So you have that, but it's not the origin story of Cybertron, so it's not too much going into that. It's just the war on Cybertron that you're going to get the origin story of. Which, again, that was all that was needed. This movie is about 1 hour 35 minutes. That was all I needed. Like, that was enough for me, right? And if they want to do a prequel, fine. I think it'll work because this movie was so good. If they want to do a sequel, absolutely, because I feel like this movie could lead on to something else. Now, there was times, because the movie was about 95 minutes, that a lot of the scenes felt rushed. But again, it was enough for me. So I feel like you guys will enjoy it as well. I can't wait to go watch it again. I only watched it once. It was a phenomenal film in my eyes. I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10, even with the drawbacks, because, again, I just expected so little of this film that it shocked the hell out of me. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. It did its job. Transformers 1, it comes out September 18th? No. Transformers 1 comes out September 20th. Go see it at the movie theater. It is one to watch. It was amazing. You guys should definitely check it out with your families. I'm just going to say it. Keegan-Michael Keegan as Bumblebee stood out to me. He was just hilarious. The whole time it was just like, I can't wait to watch this again because he just had me rolling in that film. It was funny. Definitely go check it out. So I'm going to get into another topic because this is Movie Talk Mondays. We're going to get into some more things. So topic number 2. So last week I got to watch Venom The Last Dance trailer. One of the things that I was so worried about with this film was it's just going to be another terrible Venom film. And let me explain to you guys my thoughts on the Venom films. The first Venom barely made it to being an okay film. The second Venom was just trash. The way they treated Carnage, Cletus Cassidy's character in general was just bad. Like, I wouldn't recommend my worst enemy watch Venom, Let There Be Carnage. This third Venom film, when I seen the trailer, I just thought it was going to be more trash. But watching this new trailer that they just released, and the reason why I'm worried about this film this much more, let me get into detail. Venom The Last Dance new trailer wasn't that much better than the first trailer. But in this trailer, they added in Noel. For those of you who don't know who Noel is, he's the symbiote god. Without Noel, there would be no Venom, there would be no Carnage, and all these other symbiotes running around in the MCU, right? An Easter egg about Noel that has nothing to do with it because Venom is a Sony character under Marvel and they so happen to license Spider-Man to the MCU as far as for Disney, but he has nothing to do with the MCU. But a little Easter egg, Thor Love and Thunder, the Necro Sword that Gore the God Butcher was using in Thor Love and Thunder comes from Noel, the symbiote god. So if they tie this in some way, somehow, which they won't because it makes too much sense to do so, and that's just not what we do here when business gets in the way of things. So that's not happening. So I just thought I would throw that Easter egg out there for you guys to know that that was a thing. And Thor Love and Thunder is probably the worst comic book movie you ever seen in your life. So I wouldn't recommend nobody watch it, but if you want to watch it just to get that Easter egg out there you go. With Noel, them adding Noel to this trailer, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a good movie to me. It just seems like there's desperation there. They want people to go see this film, and that just makes me worry that much more. So we got about a month and a week out from this film. So of course, push it as much as you can, but just adding Noel's name in the trailer isn't going to get a bunch of people to go see this. Reason being is a lot of you probably don't even know who Noel is in the first place. Secondly, you guys haven't shared my YouTube to your friends to let them know that, hey, follow the C's Monroe Show because he can teach you about what's going on in Venom The Last Dance. And he can teach you a little about who Noel is. So they don't know about Noel as much as they can because you guys aren't helping them. But with Noel, them bringing him in, it just seems like a sign of desperation. I want it to be good. I think it really could be good. But just knowing Sony and their track record with the Marvel films, I don't see much happening here. And honestly, with the MCU and Disney and what they've been doing, I can't even say that I'm shocked at this point. But hopefully something comes of this film that I'm not just going to be here ranting about how terrible it was to you guys in the next month or so. But there you have it. Hopefully I'm wrong. But lately I just been hitting it on the head for the last, I want to say 2 years. Like it's just been really bad out here. And yes, that's including Deadpool and Wolverine. But that's all for Movie Talk Mondays this week, guys. By the way, Canelo did win the fight this past Saturday, so we all knew that was going to happen. But I'm just reporting the news. All right. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to tune in this Thursday for the C's Monroe Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Don't forget to share with your peoples. Let them know to come visit me. Let's take this journey together, guys. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. See you Thursday. Peace.